Let's go! Come on now.
That probably is mad loud in the speaker.
It's probably why it didn't work, because maybe last time we boosted, like we busted it. It's like,
Yeah.
start yelling. All right,
It's
ready?
episode 5. The biggest.
So quick.
Look at that. It's like we've been here for years.
You gotta do this, ready?
Why are you pulling so hard?
You gotta pull, so
that's
like,
not how it
no,
works.
you gotta pull, so the finger, this part, hits your palm, so it makes a sound, ready? It's like this.
What do you
ready?
mean?
Like you
You
hear
didn't
that?
hit a palm.
No, you gotta pull it. You gotta pull it back like this. Ready? There you go.
That doesn't
do
work. I don't know where you got this out. You're breaking my finger.
So Kobe got 5 rings when he was aiming for 7. Here's the real question: how many do you think he would have gotten if he aimed
For
for
a million.
12.
Then he could have had 9,999.
12.
Could be still going to
12. All right.
Damn.
For all of you ambitious athletes out there, we got the books, podcasts, and articles to level up in our sports. Welcome to Incremental Edge.
Oh my God.
Hey yo, water boy. This shit wet.
We run it up for so. That bitch gon' not know where what's up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera roll. I did everything for it, so now we pull up with foreign though. Shot the top.
Best podcast there is.
Come on,
Jesus.
come on.
Best.
Too many daps. Come on.
That's
there
you.
go.
With all the
All right,
dapping up.
so what do you think the
Jesus.
real answer is?
Bro, this topic, I realize it's so much more complicated than I thought.
How come?
But it's so good.
Yeah.
They'll realize why it's so complicated as we go with this podcast.
All right, let's go.
But
We gotta make it good. Come on.
the truth. I really don't know what happened.
I think 9. I think 8, 9.
I
probably.
feel like it's not some simple math equation, and it's so many factors.
Give me the main reason why you think it's complicated.
I think there's the fear that if you set these extremely high goals and you try to reach them day to day, you could be pushing outside of your limits, and that just leads to
Bodily.
injury. Yeah, your literal physical limits, and it just leads to like not smart training as an athlete, or dangerous training, or just being pissed all the time.
Frustrated also.
Yeah.
I get that.
But I also have that strong. I still very much. It's not like I'm opposed to thinking big. I think big myself, and I believe it's what takes me far too. So it's like it's a complicated. Like
So today we're talking about thinking big, and to answer that, my little theory is that I think Kobe reached, like in terms of physicality, he probably reached, the limit onto day-to-day life. But if he aimed for, let's say, 12 or 13 rings,
mm-hmm.
I think that each day, each move he makes, each shot he shoots will weigh more because of the intention shift, right? Because his intention was higher. So maybe because he knows that, oh wait, I'm not enough yet. So like on the off time, he'll be automatically subconsciously putting the intention onto his goals, and maybe like just with the same amount of physical, training every day would weigh more. You know what I'm saying? The value is heavier every day.
Yeah.
And I think over time of years, the effect compounds.
Sort of compounded.
And then it could have led to a different result. But who knows?
Damn.
And love Kobe. Very unfortunate event, but
I gotta say that theory.
you like that? You think I'm smart?
That's
Come on now.
kinda
Come on
smart,
now. I'm
not
a
gonna
smart
lie.
man now.
Yeah.
I think we think about this stuff a lot.
We
That's
do,
why
yeah.
we put it together to share
That-
our thoughts.
That concept 100% makes perfect sense, because I struggled with thinking we all have our limits. You can't just magically push past your limits based on your beliefs, physical. But I'm wondering if the variable of attention to every small thing you do while doing the same amount could really be the factor that makes
I
it
really
different.
think the intention is a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, because for me, another thing I struggle with, or don't struggle with, but it's like something I realized about goal setting, because I like setting big goals, but I realized I never really hit it, to be honest. I usually set goals based on time dates, because then I can sit on that date and be like, did I actually hit it? And I realized I'm always under my goal, but I also realize later in the future I usually hit that goal.
I see.
Which is why I value big goals so much, because I feel like eventually I'm going to hit it. Who cares if your goal is to be the best in your sport and you hit it 1 year later? You still became one of the best. You know what I mean? Or you hit it 2 years later. That's why I value it so much.
So
it's
here's a question. First of all, the paths is very unknown. It's very uncertain, like
Yeah.
in the future. But what would happen if initially, before you set a goal, instead of the original goal you set a higher goal compared to the original one? Would you have gotten like where you originally wanted to be if the goal was higher within the same amount of period?
That's the thing I wonder. At first, like I was gonna say, I have physical limits, and knowing my personality or what I've experienced when I was younger, I'm really practical with myself, right? So I'll be very honest. Like, I work out 4 hours a day, and I want to be the best in the world. I might have to work out 6 hours a day because day to day, I think I'm not growing as fast as I need to be to hit my goal. So I'd go to 6. Now, if I set a bigger goal, I might feel like I need to work out 8 to 10 hours a day to hit that goal. So I would be crazy enough to do it.
I see.
And that's why I'm wondering, would it have killed me, broken me, or would I have found a way to make it work?
I see.
And I go to another level.
So you're kind of neglecting the intention part.
I don't think most people really think about the variable of just intention.
Yeah.
Like, your training doesn't have to change completely, but just trust in the power of your mind. That's what you said. Yeah. Like, I'm just waking up to, like, whoa. Yeah. Like, if the intention of every single thing I did, every turn I took, like, everything I do my day to day had this bigger goal mindset, maybe I would incrementally. Yeah. Man, we always use that word, incremental edge.
Incremental edge.
Incrementally be growing.
Yeah, I guess another point was that this thinking big mentality is not a short-term scheme, right? I think that it genuinely is a long-term, 6 months, a year, if not 5-year kind of journey, right? So I guess one big mistake I was making was when I was trying to come back from my shoulder injuries, right? I had 2 surgeries from the labrum tear. It was a repair.
Yeah.
And while I was recovering, it was COVID, so everybody was shut down as well. And all I could do was visualization, but it wasn't disciplined because I only did it on the days where I felt inspired to, because it's like nobody was doing anything. I was just being, today I feel a little inspired. I'll visualize. But I think that the story would be very different if I disciplinedly did it every day, regardless of how I felt.
Wait, pause. Anyways, I wonder. So you only did it when you're motivated, of course, which is easy to do.
I
wonder the effects of having done it.
Exactly. That would be a different story.
That's a very different.
But anyways, when I came back, I got to the equipment. I was like, wait, I've visualized this so many times. I think I could do it. And I just did it on the first day after months of not training. I did it, right? But I couldn't do it. And it's normal because nobody was gonna reach their potential on the first day of training. No, it's impossible. But I was like a spoiled brat, just did not know anything. Like, dude, I don't know what I was thinking. So
why am I not a world champion?
Exactly. Like, look at my hands. Wait, what happened?
That's stupid.
So yeah, basically, I didn't get it with my short-term thinking mind. I was getting frustrated every day because I was like, why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting this? And because of the constant frustration, it led me to a less confident. Like, it took a lot of confidence away from me. That being said, in the long run, my performance decreased dramatically because I didn't know how to deal with the frustration. And not only that, it took away a lot of happiness and joy out of my life in many areas. So. Yeah, back to the long-term thinking, right? Like, we always talk about the 6-month period. That's like the pinnacle. That's like the shortest time you should give it. You should be patient to see any big results, any big transformation. So
I think 6 months is I think it's a safe spot where anything can really happen in 6 months. You could have a major growth, or we don't want this to happen, but something bad could happen in it. So basically, anything, your life could change drastically in 6 months, I believe. I believe that's the biggest time frame to put a goal. Because if you make it too short, you can't really make any crazy, random, magical changes, and you're probably going to be really discouraged. Yeah. And then I have a fear, or not a fear, I think if you make your goal too big, too far out in the future, like you have a 2-year goal, nothing before it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you don't reach it in 2 years, and you regret not having done anything to switch that goal, Exactly. I think 6 months, you don't hit it. You can pivot, you can change, you can reevaluate, and by the end of the year, you might be able to reach your goal or something. Yeah. So 6 months is definitely.
Yeah. I genuinely think that the short-term thinking blindly short-term thinking without thinking farther into the future is dangerous for yourself and for the people around you. Yeah. So because you're gonna be a jerk and
Mhm.
everything is gonna. So back to Kobe's physicality part, where I think he actually knew where his like bodily limit was, and he was able to see maybe a long-term period. He's
Mhm.
like, if I do this too much, and maybe let's say he did this, or us would do this on Monday, and if I'll take that 5 extra turns, I won't be able to finish strong on Friday. I think that's the very important factor to it as well. So,
Yeah.
It's you.
This concept, there's so many areas to it.
Yeah.
I am realizing. I feel like I just realized this.
He's in a contemplating phase, because like we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
like he was just thinking. He's like, that makes sense,
like,
but like, how do I deal with this? And I say something. He's like, that makes sense. Again, I gotta rethink everything.
Like I'm really learning in this instant. I'm trying to like.
That's the part. That's our journey, right? Like,
I mean,
that's
the
what's
journey,
beautiful about it. We learn as we're literally making the content.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
that's exciting.
I think why I was so like confused about thinking big is because, or why I struggle with like this concept is because I think really practical. Like I said, I would basically I'd make a goal and I'd just break it up into a million small pieces to try to hit every day. And I think that's how I reach my goals. If you can just hit it every day, you hit that long term. Some people aren't good at planning, right? I feel like I'm a planner, but I'm realizing I don't know the plan as well as I thought. Like I'm putting together this plan that I need to hit this today and this tomorrow and this the next day. But I realize I build like a linear plan to the goal. Like this is just a straight staircase. If I do this down here and this down here and this, I'm going to hit the top. Yeah. But I realize that's not even the right path. I think it's exponential. Exactly. I know it's exponential. Exactly. That's what I realized in the past few months. I'm growing exponentially.
Yeah. And based on what we have talked about, extended period of time.
Yeah. So I think I'm like afraid to tell people just think crazy big goals, because then you do some crazy stuff day to day that just fucks you over and you're injured, right? But if you know the path's exponential and you trust it, you don't
faith part.
Yeah, it's kind of faith that over here you're gonna have. This is where the growth is happening. You're not at the stage where you have to do these big things every day. You're kind of just laying the ground. So like that's like a concept that I'm like realizing. This is why you're able to think big, not because, oh, I'm not good enough today, I'm not going to ever hit this goal, because day to day doesn't look like I'm hitting it. Yeah. But 6 months from now, my growth that I didn't expect are way bigger, and now I'm climbing towards this goal. And that's why I have to trust that's why you trust the process, because in 6 months, a year, then you start getting way closer to your big goal.
Exactly.
Like this is a concept I'm realizing, like, whoa.
Yeah, to incorporate on that. Mm-hmm. I genuinely think that the linear part is the timeline. Right?
It's just a straight timeline.
Yeah, the timeline. That it's a matter of days, like when you're gonna get there. Mm-hmm. Even that's a little unknown, because the time is unknown.
Yeah.
And the exponential is the progress part. And like even like when you when we zoom in on the exponential, like that line, even that there's ups and downs. So it's like very unknown. There's so many different like paths to it, side paths to it. Like we just don't know, and like we can't put too much faith on our day-to-day step planning,
because you don't know.
Like and if one thing does, so if we have that mentality, if one thing doesn't go to our plan, we won't get as like frustrated as we should be. We used to be.
Yeah,
I think it's very beautiful.
I mean that's like the big realization. Like you don't know the path, so you can still have the big goal and you can still hit it somehow. Like how does like Elon Musk hit billions?
Exactly. And
like he didn't know
the
his
amount
path.
Of impact he has on the world,
Exactly.
Right? You think he knew it when he was 17 or 16?
Yeah.
We don't know. Maybe he did.
Same with Phelps and 23 gold medals. It's like, it's definitely...
It's out of imagination for a lot of people.
Yeah. All you can do is set the goal and have intention.
Yeah.
But you can't have the exact planning to hit it.
Yeah, I think for us right now, the beginning stage is to be aware of the intention part. Mm-hmm. Because I think that a lot of people ignore it. I don't think it's healthy, because this mind is different.
Exactly.
Yeah. The subconscious works in mysterious ways.
Like now I feel like I should be making bigger goals, even though I already have big goals. Yeah. But if I have even bigger goals and I just put the intention behind
experiment with the
I don't
future
know what'll
self,
happen,
right?
Yeah.
So just make sure that stay healthy is that's a very
That's the
important
key
point. Yeah.
for sure.
But and we're smart enough to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I might put even more work into staying healthy. You're not smart enough to do it. But I'm smart. I'm healthy. Let's go.
Well, no, we'll see in the future. 6 months, right? I'll be kind of back. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess next part is the challenge within the journey is the fun part. I think. Like, what's fun in there when we set a goal that's so low that we know we're gonna reach it, right? I think that I'm a firm believer in always be on the journey. Like, doesn't matter what goal, how much goal you know, how high of a goal we hit, and within the journey, within this long void path, we end it on our own terms, on our decisions. So because I think that if we, I don't know, thinking big, and I guess the most important part is to have that mentality of being okay to not achieve it, not only within short term, day-to-day period, but also in the long term, right?
Yeah.
Because it's life. Like we're not gonna get what we want always, and also the down parts are sometimes the time that we grow the most.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
It's interesting because basically your concept is like, say you're gonna, like when you die, you're 60. You should be.
That's pretty young, but sure.
I'm like, talking about age. When I don't mean die, I meant like retire or like not able to like be like, you know what I mean, like you don't live your life the same.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm wondering.
I didn't hear it.
It's an interesting concept. Should you be as far from your goal at 60 as you are far from your goal at 20?
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you
like,
mean? Rephrase?
For me, I feel like I'm always as far from my goal, no matter what time in my life I am. Because I just, when I get better, I make a bigger goal. And so I'm like chasing a string, but the string, like I'm always, you know what I mean? I'm always farther. And that way I think my potential keeps going more and more.
Maybe I think that would be.
Because you set no barriers for yourself.
Yeah,
no barriers.
Maybe that, I would not, if I do something I love, I would not complain about it at all.
Exactly,
like if I'm passionate within this sports industry, I would do it forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's fun. It's fun to share our own journeys and potentially have some impact in some other people's life.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? And like I don't know, maybe when I'm 80, I have different priority. Maybe my grandkids, great grandkids.
Yeah, but you still have
like that.
Goal,
like exactly.
But you might be far from it.
Still, yeah.
But it's a big goal. Yeah.
I don't know. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Sure.
So what else you can talk about?
I do have one more concept.
Next scenario potential.
With big goals. I think because I'm still piecing things together, but I'm realizing like, because I believe very much on maxing out. I mean, on big goals, but I do believe everybody has a max potential. Like no one's born equal. Michael Jordan and like everybody I'm fucking up more. All right, back. Michael Jordan here potential wise. Other basketball players are here potential wise. Doesn't matter if I think this basketball player and Michael Jordan have the same goal of win whatever amount. They end up to here.
Yeah.
But I think if Michael Jordan's goal was lower, he might not have ever reached his full potential. The same with this person. Even this person's goal was down here. Like
he would be lower.
Yeah, to get 5 rings, maybe. They both have a goal of getting 5 rings. Then Michael Jordan doesn't ever hit his full potential. And this person, still way below Michael Jordan, never hit their full potential because they both weren't aiming for 12 rings.
Exactly, for 5 rings, yeah.
So I think it's okay to aim crazy big because at the end of the day, wherever you do reach, you're going to max. That's the max you could have reached. And you could say, at least I did everything I could.
Exactly. Everything. Give everything, and then you look back and there's no regrets.
Yeah.
And also that we got to emphasize on the part that the journey is what's
the journey. Yeah.
And I think we should break the big journey and break it down to 6 months journey, and then, dude, it's like after 6 months, regardless of the result, it should be a milestone for all of us. And like sometimes we all get very, very, very sidetracked, and I think that's why we always talk about the accountability part. Right.
Yeah.
And again, we're saying that we're trying to make a movement, 6 months movement. And if one guy we could do this, imagine a group, maybe in the future we're envisioning thousands of people at the same time moving at the same speed. Imagine the power. Like I don't know.
Powerful, yeah.
We'll see. But hey, I think we're gonna leave it there, right?
I think we're gonna leave it there, yeah.
And subscribe, comment down below, give us any ideas you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
And finally, Welcome to our journey.
people.
Come on. Incremental Edge.
Incremental
Do
Edge.
some thinking, man.
Bro, this topic.
I'm glad I can
like,
make you think.
This is making me think. I think about this deeply. Like, what are your goals and how can you push it more? Because
we pour out all of our hearts to present this idea. I hope this will make impact
yeah,
on some people's lives. All right,
we're off.
we're off. Bye.
Bye.